I want you to stop when you think it's a red flag. So it's called the Willy chocolate experience.
Stop right there.
I don't know. Last game of the season, I saw some beautiful photos coming in through the group chat. Put a beautiful bow tie to a lovely end to the season. So then Kush messaged 2 days later saying that there's actually 4 more games left in the season.
Welcome back to Critical Banter, the podcast that brings the Friday drinks chat to you. This week's episode, my golly gosh, we have a banger. First segment, game stolen straight from TikTok, I'll be honest with you, called Avoid Me. The boys have got to avoid what I am saying. And then the second segment, thank you for sending in your submissions. Pet peeves, but with a twist. We've gone on about how much we love Sydney this time. But before that, throughout the week, we've got me and Miguel. We have Roey.
G'day.
And we have Sen.
Hello, boys. I've got a very quick one for you. I don't know if you guys have seen this during the week, but I want to quickly talk about Willy's chocolate experience.
I have.
Bro, you haven't seen
it.
this? Oh,
I have no idea what you're talking about. The only Willy I mess with is Willy Wonka.
Good you ended that way.
Well, this is Willy Wonka related. So in Glasgow, they came up with like a Willy Wonka experience. It's meant for kids. And I'm going to just give you a few details about this event, and I want you to stop when you think it's a red flag. So it's called the Willy chocolate experience.
Stop right there.
That immediately for me would have been a red flag. It was £35 a ticket. It was aimed for kids under the age, I think, of about 8 or 10. And essentially it was sold as this experience of basically an immersive Willy Wonka experience. You go into a warehouse and it's basically, it was billed as basically being a real life Willy Wonka's like factory, chocolate
That's cool.
factory.
I'm into that.
Yeah, so it was sold as a visual experience, visual effects, audio, even real life Oompa Loompas that narrate to the children.
So what, they've just got midgets running around dressed in orange?
Miguel will show you the photo soon, but my next red flag would surely be the name of the company that ran the event was called the House of Illuminati.
Wow.
So apparently the very first day of the event was cancelled halfway through because parents were so outraged they called the cops on the place. So now Miguel,
because of the name of the company?
Just the shambolic nature of the event itself. So Miguel, if you have photos, otherwise I have photos here.
I'll send them to Kush to put them in the episode, but I'll show it to you, Ro. So on the left is what was advertised, and on the right is what it actually is. So describe what you're seeing.
Okay. So on the left, I'm seeing a wondrous world filled
magical
with lollipops and like a garden path and like kind of portals and stuff. It looks like very experiential. On the right, I'm seeing an empty warehouse with a painting or some sort of
a
flag.
poster of that photo you've seen.
It's like a 144p poster that's on a tiny poster on a massive wall that barely covers it.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Oompa Loompas. These are the Oompa Loompas, right?
And like some of these people have now done interviews after it saying, "Oh, we were sold a dream as well," and then like now their careers are like tarnished by the internet because people have found their names. They're just actors. These guys are just normal actors.
No, so the Oompa Loompas are like two girls with green hair looking like they're cooking up some methamphetamine in some sort of
exactly
lab.
what it looks.
With just fake tan as the orange skin.
I didn't even pick that. They don't even look like they're at all orange.
And then my favorite part is, so essentially what happened was the guys just like, they gave everyone scripts of like what to say. And so they sent it into like an AI, like a chat GPT essentially, and like put Willy Wonka's script in. And so like pump out like a new script for new kids. And one of it was they created a new character that actually wasn't even in Willy Wonka. And I want to show you a video. It's going to be a TikTok. So I'll show you right now, Ro, and maybe we can somehow chuck this in. But this is the funniest thing I've seen in my life.
What is that? It's the unknown.
Alright, so Senny's showing me a video currently of like what can I only describe as like a Sasquatch looking thing. Some like King Kong gorilla who somehow managed to enter the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
So somehow the AI created a new character called the Unknown. And it's just a guy in like a scream mask. And so the guy was taking the kids throughout like the warehouse, and they come up to like a pillar, and then he's like, and Willy's like, "What's this? It's the Unknown." And then from behind the pillar, this guy in like a black dress and a scream mask comes out like doing some weird dance.
Wow.
And so this is just going viral over TikTok and like the internet. So yeah, like people they called the police because they felt like they got scammed. And so the police came and shut the whole thing down on the first day.
Well, where was the scam though?
You saw how it was advertised?
you saw the beautiful language that they were using to describe it, immersive experience. And all it was, and apparently there was like another area where it was just cafeteria tables just in a warehouse. And that was meant to be like where they eat and stuff. It's basically, people are describing it as Fire Festival.
But for Willy Wonka.
But for kids, a children's Fire Festival.
Yeah, £35 to, get accosted by the unknown. Is not
Almost
something I want.
$60, $70 Australian dollars for that. I'd be fuming as well, per person, mind you.
If I saw that across the street, if I had a kid and I saw that across the street for free, I still wouldn't take my kid there, dude.
The unknown. But yeah, that's all I had for this week. I thought that was hilarious.
I got one quick thing from last week. So we discussed after the show. Last Saturday we recorded, and I told the boys that I was heading over to Wheatus. Famous singers or the band who sang Teenage Dirtbag amongst other songs.
No,
Which
that's
are-
the only song.
Leroy is one of the other ones. for sure.
Jenkins.
Sane.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go. My mate invited me. Like, they're really big fans of like Wheatus. They love
That's
Wheatus.
so niche.
It's very niche, but they were performing close to our house. And I was like, whatever, let's go. These tickets, by the way, were $70. Turns out Wheatus was the opening act to another band called Everclear. Anyone heard of Everclear?
Nope.
Anyways, right. So Everclear, by the way, these guys are like 50 years old. They're old guys. They're just touring around at our local pub. The gig had 40 people. It was $70.
That's crazy.
So
It sounds like an intimate event as well. If only 40 people.
yeah, because it was like at the Edamoga, which is like a small pub in the hills. Like not great.
It's a rough pub. It's like one tier above the Fiddler. That's a very niche Sydney reference, but yeah, that's
$70 was probably like $60, more than what I wanted to pay for Wheatus. But my friends were really into him, so I'm like, I'm just going to go and see what it's about.
mind you, that same night Taylor Swift was playing as well. And for $70, you couldn't have gotten decent seats for Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, Wheatus, same levels. So we went there and basically, watched the gig. It was fine. After Wheatus finished performing, because it was like such a small venue, my mates were like, oh, let's like get a photo with Wheatus. By the way, his real name is Brendan. It was just one of the guys who rocked up.
But did you call him Brendan or did you call him Wheatus?
We called him Brendan, obviously.
Okay.
So there's only one person from Wheatus.
Yeah.
So it's half of Wheatus.
There's just like one quarter.
I think a third or a quarter of Wheatus.
Oh, is it more? I thought it was two people.
Maybe. I've got no
It's
idea.
a whole band, surely.
Okay, right.
So Wheatus has just finished his gig.
Saying
And-
Teenage Dirtbag.
Yeah, saying that.
Three times.
My mate who was like, my mate was recording the whole song and he was just smiling. I've never seen him so happy. Anyway, so my mate Sav then goes up to him after his gig and he's like, hey, can I get a photo? But he was like packing up all his equipment. So he's like, not now. But then he did something a bit weird, but I was like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. He put on his mask. When Sav walked up to him, he's like, put on his mask. Maybe because he's just like very paranoid, like a germophobic or something like that. So whatever, we're like waited for him to finish, and then kind of a line started forming with, forming to take photos with Wheatus. We joined the line, and so Manny, now I've sent you 2 photos. I want you to open them up and have a live reaction. I'm gonna state some things that happened, and I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna put any value judgment on them. I simply want to get your thoughts.
You want me to look at the photos right now?
So I'm going to describe it and look at the video first. So basically, the video is kind of what everyone was doing. Everyone got up to Wheatus. They saw him. He was taking a photo. Looked very happy. All things considered, it looked great.
I'll watch it now. He was loving it.
He was loving the
He's loving
photo.
taking photos. Smiley, happy, right next to the people he's taking photos with.
Swipe across to the next photo. This is the photo that he took with us. So the next photo that I've shown Manny is when us 4 brown dudes have walked up to Wheatus. He has then decided to put back on his mask. We asked him, hey, can someone else take a photo? And he's like, no, I'll do it. Decides to take a selfie and was like, please don't touch me. And so these are the facts. And I want to get some thoughts.
Look, that's just your version. of the
I don't
truth.
want to put some statements out
Yeah.
there. That might not be true.
It could just be a coincidence.
You've had just a poor experience, but yeah,
Was there any other?
Well, how do you
people-
explain the fact that he took the mask off and when other people came up to him?
Well, I was gonna ask how many other people were there that look like you guys, or look like maybe like Manu in the audience.
We were the only ones.
So when he took a photo with everyone else that maybe looked more like himself, more like Wheatus, did he wear a mask for any of them?
He was, as Future would say, mask off,
When he saw you, fuck it, mask on.
mask on.
Smiling, ear to ear, grin, like a Cheshire cat. And then you guys, mask on.
What I will say, in that photo, his eyes are smiling.
Mm.
He looks happy, and I just can't see his smile.
Fuck it, I'm going to say it. Is Wheatus racist?
Look,
Is Wheatus racist?
I'll be honest, I don't know, but Sav was devastated.
I mean, like the evidence is pretty...
It's pretty damning, but look,
Any listeners or viewers out there, please explain what this behavior could be.
mask on with us, mask off. Back to the Wheaties, mask back on.
So if anyone can give us wrong answers only, maybe give us your theories about what Wheatus was thinking when he saw a group of brown guys coming up to him.
Anyway, that was a funny experience that I had. Look, I don't want to put any joke. We've been slandering people as racist left, right, and center. Clubs, owners of clubs.
Look, we're not saying anyone's racist right now.
No, definitely
We
not.
are just presenting you with some facts.
Yeah,
and you give us your conclusions from the facts.
2 + 2 may equal 4, but let's just see and see what people say.
All right, one final thing before we go. Our triumphant Frisbee season ended last week. Let's just do a quick roll call. Miguel, did you play?
I was absent.
Ro, did you play?
No, I didn't play.
I didn't play either. Kush isn't here, but he did play. I don't know what the score was.
I actually didn't I? That's right. I don't know what the score was. Did we win? Probably not.
I don't know. Last game of the season, I saw some beautiful photos coming in through the group chat. You know how end of season you take a photo with the team. Very lovely. I thought
I like that. Wholesome. Very wholesome.
Put a beautiful bow tie to a lovely end to the season. So then Kush messaged 2 days later saying that there's actually 4 more games left in the season. Apparently the idiot... Actually, wait. Let me just say, this is Kush's words. He's blamed the coordinator and said the coordinator had only this week put up 3 more games, like 3 more fixtures, up until, last week for the longest time on the roster schedule. The last game was meant to be last Monday. And we're like, beautiful. What a way to end. Tears in my eyes. Let's go out on a high. And now Kush has said, fuck, we've actually got 3 more games. We've kind of already said our goodbyes. We've taken our photos. Let's just leave it there. So Kush has taken the decision as captain to just forfeit the rest of the season for us.
No, I stand by my captain's decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Devil's advocate for the coordinator.
No.
One. Remember how we played one game? It was our last game against one of the teams, and they said, "Oh, we'll see you in the finals." And we're like, "Hang on, we were rock bottom. What do you mean finals? So are these the finals that they were talking about? The additional fixtures?"
So we came last and we qualified for finals. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Because they were saying like the top 6 or top 8 make the finals in every division. Our division has 6 teams, all right? Let's get that out there. But all the other divisions have like 12, 16, 14 teams.
Yeah, maybe it's like a March Madness type thing. 1v6, the eliminator, the qualifier. Oh, so are we forfeiting finals? Why are we doing that?
Is that changing your tune? If I put the label finals over these games, all of a sudden you want to rock up.
Because the thing is, right, there's no referee, which means that, and spirit doesn't matter anymore because we're dead
now
last.
it's exactly.
So I'm thinking it's a rumble in the jungle type situation where we physically
dominate. Winner takes all mentality. Rule book goes out of the window in the final. So maybe Ro's right. We're throwing, sand in their face, kicking them in the gonads.
So you tell me next Monday we rock up when we're playing fucking NFL.
Yeah, we're bringing knuckle dusters.
Yeah, and who's going to stop us from triumphantly winning a Frisbee season? Imagine that story. Imagine that. We are dead last for the whole season. Somehow, some miraculous turnaround, we decide we're going to turn it up for finals because that's where it actually matters.
And we punch up everyone.
Yeah.
And they have no one left to defend us. And we win.
Vandalays wins in a 3rd round knockout. 3rd round submission. Let's go.
I love it. Well, maybe we'll tell Kush and see what he thinks about this plan.
Alrighty, friends, game this week we have named Avoid Me, but if you're avid on TikTok, you'll know the gist. So on TikTok, it's avoid what I'm saying. So I have pre-prepared prompts where the boys have to name something or whatever, and I have pre-prepared answers. And on their whiteboards, the boys must write the first thing that comes to their head. And then at the end of each round, we'll go through the answers. And for everyone they haven't matched with me, they'll get a point. Most points at the end wins. Happy with that, boys?
Very.
Sounds good.
The first round is the Sydney round. So we have 5 Sydney-based things I just want you to write down. So first one, name 1 suburb starting with the letter C. Second, name 1 tourist attraction in Sydney. Third one, name 1 train station in Sydney. Fourth one, name 1 beach. And last one, name 1 major road. Righty, answers are locked in. Pens.
That was more stressful than I thought, to be honest.
Senny, I heard a bit of grumbles when I had the prompt, man. Couldn't think of something. Right, answer locked in. I'll read mine and then you compare with yours. So first one we had, name 1 suburb starting with the letter C. I had Cherrybrook.
I had Cherrybrook as well.
Oh, actually, I had Carlingford.
No.
Oh, lovely. 1 point to Senny. Second one, name 1.
Castle Hill, Canley Vale, you
Should have
know?
written them then.
Oh,
Yeah, you had so many. Dude, that's crazy. First one as well, Ro. Next one, name 1 tourist attraction. I had the Opera House.
Yeah, this is where it went downhill for me. I had that one as well. I knew as soon as I read it, I'm like, yeah, this is wrong.
Thank God. I got Bondi Beach.
Fair play. Next one, name 1 train station. I had Epping
Oh,
Station.
thank God. I said Town Hall.
That's all right. I said Emu Plains.
Is there even a station out there?
Yeah, of course there is.
Okay.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% sure there's a station.
All right.
Well, play on.
95.
Play on. Next one, name 1 beach. I had Manly Beach.
I also had Manly.
Yeah. I had Mona Vale.
Mona Vale. And last one, name 1 major road. I had Parramatta Road.
Yeah, I also had Parramatta.
I had Penny Hills Road.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, Zeddy.
I knew I was doing it badly.
This reminds me of Now You See Me, where they do like the live. Have you seen the movie Now You See Me?
Yeah, but a long time ago. I can't remember.
They do like a live magic trick where they like basically ripple through a deck of cards, and the guy tells you to think about what card you saw,
Right.
and everyone sees the ace of spades or something,
Okay.
and he says like live. It's a movie.
Yeah.
He says, "Are you guys thinking about the ace of spades?" And I was thinking about the ace of spades, and it blew my mind.
I was in the magic trick is done to the viewer.
the
viewer,
audience.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That's,
I don't
That's
remember it.
gnarly, dude.
So how many unique answers did you have?
I had 2.
I think I had 4.
You did. It was only the first one that
So
we
the
matched.
first one, yeah.
Well done. 2-point lead. Right, next round, fellas, is a sport round. So hopefully we'll do better here. Topical. It's Jersey Day today, apparently, in the pod studio. First question, name 1 football team. Next one, name 1 Australian tennis player. First thing that comes to the head, boys. Next one, name 1 NFL player.
This is a
fuck's
joke. I
sake,
don't
this
know
is
anyone
bullshit.
else.
Yeah, I only know a couple.
Name 1 Olympic sport. Fifth one, name 1 retired NBA player. First one, question was, name 1 football team. I've written down Chelsea.
Yeah, I wrote Roma. As per my jersey that I'm wearing.
I wrote Man City.
Fair play. Next one, name 1 Australian tennis player. I went with Nick Kyrgios.
Demonor.
James McCabe.
I was tempted to put that. I knew that was going to come. I'll let you
You're
have
an
that.
idiot.
Next one, name 1 NFL player. I went Tom Brady.
Oh,
I went Mahomes.
I went Travis
I was-
Kelce.
Gonna go one of the Chiefs boys, but opted not to. Name 1 Olympic sport. I've put swimming.
I went running.
Damn it. Running's not an Olympic sport. What run?
Sprinting is obviously what I meant.
100 meter, 200 meter? I went swimming as
Swoosh.
well. Damn it. Okay.
That's unlucky. Last one of the sport round. Name 1 retired NBA player. I have Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, I thought you would go Kobe. I went Kobe.
I also went Kobe, rest in peace.
Rest
Play
in
on.
peace.
How many points is that, boys?
5.
I got 4. All right, Senny, you're catching the lead here. But let's see. We got how many rounds left?
We got one more round.
Okay, this is a big round. So, Senny, you got 7, and I have 4 plus 4. So I have 8.
8.
Oh,
Wow, good maths,
wowee.
bro.
Bang.
One point in it. The last round we have is a corporate round, boys.
Oh my God.
So, first one, name an employee benefit / perk.
What?
Broad. It's a broad question, so you should be able to get
I
it.
think I just I wrote the dumbest answer in the world.
All right, next one. Name an industry to work in. Name an Australian bank. Name a communication app. Last one, name a common office snack. Name an employee benefit / perk. I had free healthcare.
I wrote super.
Legally mandated. I went 4-day week.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. Next one, name an industry to work in. I had finance.
No, I had finance.
Yes, or I had tech.
There we go. Name an Australian bank. I had Commonwealth Bank.
I wrote NAB.
I wrote ANZ.
Well done. Is it tied now?
No,
No,
he's
I'm
up by 2
now.
Well, here we go. Name a communication app. I had Slack.
I also had
I
Slack.
had Slack too.
Oh, dear. And then
Ro wins.
Ro wins, but last one, name a common office snack. I had biscuits.
Tim Tams. I went specific.
I put Arnott's biscuits.
Yeah, I guess that's Tim Tams.
I went chips.
Ah, well, there you go. Well done.
Well done, bro.
Well, I feel like, what does that game actually test? It tests.
Your intuition, dude. Your first answers, how in tune are we?
Means me and Manu are absolutely in tune. We're on the same page for everything.
Bro, come on, man.
Maybe it's a bad thing to win this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, this episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Clear out that winter bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flowers. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code TCB for 20% off and free shipping. So, Rowie, I asked a question to you. Out of the package, what would you say is your favorite part of the Manscaped offering?
I have to say it's the Lawnmower 5.0. That absolutely is my favorite. The cut is unbeatable, is what I would say.
Wow, that's a big claim.
It is a big claim, but it's true.
I myself, I like the boxes. The boxes are nice, comfy, soft.
Oh, so good.
They do the job. They fit well. It's all that. And the best part is that it all comes in a package.
That's the thing. That's what is so underrated about Manscaped, right? You get all the good gear just in one box. So you don't have to go buying bits and pieces from everywhere, going to different retailers to try and find all the stuff. You just go to manscaped.com. You just hit the code TCB. You get 20% off and free shipping, and you get a box with all these goodies delivered directly to your door.
Exactly. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code TCB at manscaped.com. That is 20% off and free shipping with the code TCB at manscaped.com. Nothing like a little spring cleaning in your pants. Alrighty, second segment of the day is we have pet peeves, but this week we have a little bit of a twist. We're going through what we actually love about Sydney. We put the call out on our Instagram, so if you want to be involved in the next time we do something like this, follow us at Critical Banter. But without further ado, let's run through what the listeners sent in. First one, public transport is good compared to other states.
I don't know if I agree with this one. Can someone change my mind here? I thought the tram system in Melbourne was far superior than what we have in Sydney.
So in one of our videos when we did Sydney versus Melbourne, we spoke very highly about the trams, and then someone I know from Melbourne originally came up to me and said, "Oh, look, you guys spoke so highly about the trams. Like, yeah, that's good, but that's only for the city. Like outside of that, like the actual trains are dog shit. Like apparently they run like upwards of 20, 30 minutes late every day. So in terms of actual, like, yes, in the city, maybe Melbourne might be better, but the broader system, I think Sydney is a lot better, especially with the buses as well.
I think the buses in Sydney are actually really good.
Not to mention the ferries. So you got 3 really good options right there. So better than Melbourne, definitely. Can't speak for the other cities.
I've heard things about Adelaide, Brisbane, similar things. Buses run if you're non the city, buses run every half hour. If you miss it, you're like really late. Whereas here,
that's true. Because
here, a lot of the popular buses every 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, for us, like to get to the city, there's one in the morning, like, yeah, every 10, 15 minutes.
Every like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's so
peak.
quick.
It's very quick.
And you got that with the trains as well.
The metro. Whew.
The metro is the best invention. I will say that. The metro is extremely good. Stop looking into the camera. What's wrong with the metro?
Something that they invented, 50 years ago, 60 years ago?
Yeah, but it just came here.
Well, you like monorails as well, Ro?
They're going to build a new one, are they not? In
Are they?
Sydney,
Are they bringing it back?
They don't bring the monorail back.
Not the monorail.
Oh.
The metros.
There never was a monorail.
Do you guys remember riding the Sydney monorail?
I don't think I ever got on the monorail.
Nah, you did. I remember as primary school, that was one of the things they did. Like on an excursion to the city, they took you on the monorail.
I didn't go to the city as an excursion, brother.
Really?
I don't think so.
Wait, where was the monorail? I'm pretty sure I've been on it.
It ran down George Street, and then there was the one I remember is went over the
IMAX?
the Piermont Bridge. Yeah, like it connected Darling Harbour one side to the other.
I have vague recollections of me riding the monorail.
Definitely would remember, dude. That was iconic.
Only monorail I know is the fictional one from The Simpsons, bro. I remember nothing of the Sydney monorail.
Is there a Blue Mountains monorail?
No, that's
It wouldn't be a monorail, but they might have a train
They
system.
have
to get up
it's
and
like
down.
a train, but it looks like a monorail. Anyway, we digress. Back to Sydney's public transport. I think it is quite good. Dare I say just the best in Australia, given how extensive it is and how, yes, we talk shit about how City Rail falls, with a bit of rain, it dies. But honestly, for the most part, it's pretty good.
And every second week on Reddit, I see people frothing the fact we have 2-level trains.
Oh,
double-decker trains.
Double-decker trains.
that is actually outstanding, I have to say.
On Reddit every week, it's like, where's this, dude? This is unreal.
Such a simple concept, but people lose their minds over it. Like, is that crazy? Like something that we've all grown up with, and I've never thought twice about it. And then on Reddit, like you said, people just seem to froth. Like, it's not that groundbreaking. We just took a single level train and just made a double.
We just saw the buses in London and we thought, why can't they work in a train?
To be fair, we have the buses as well.
Yeah, the
Double-decker buses.
I actually don't like the double-decker buses.
What's wrong with the buses?
I swear I get like car sick at the top when I'm sitting at the top.
Nah, I think it's a beautiful view when you're at the front and with the massive windshield and you're looking down on all the cars and like driving over the harbour.
It's
I
hot
think it's
though.
delightful.
If it's a hot day and the sun's coming straight and you're sitting at the front, you're basically getting a suntan while sitting on a bus.
A small price to pay.
Fair play. So we agree. Public transport's good. Next one, we have sent in Oppie and Harby. So this is, I assume, referring to the Opera House and Harbour Bridge.
Oh, I thought you meant Oppenheimer, and
that's what I thought when I first read, but the Harby really sold me on what it could have been. There are two major tourist attractions, Opera House and Harbour Bridge. Do we underappreciate? I feel like I underappreciate it.
I think we're just desensitized to it.
Harbour Bridge, low-key overrated. Opera House, unbelievable, I will say.
Yeah, the Harbour Bridge, like what? We drive over it almost daily.
No, but it's
with
just
the bus.
like it's not, what's special about it really? I'll give you the Opera House. The Opera House is like a beautiful structure. Like the interior is spectacular. Outside is a work of architectural genius. The Harbour Bridge, I'm not getting the hype.
What do you mean? They built it like what, 1920, 1930s? That's a pretty mad engineering feat to build that in like kind of bridge and that time period.
I think what saves the Harbour Bridge is the harbour that it's situated above.
So if it was bridge,
correct,
it's mid.
If you put the Harbour Bridge and you shove it anywhere else without a body of water,
so if it was Parramatta Bridge,
I'm thinking no one's really looking twice.
That's a hot take.
One thing I will say about the Harbour Bridge that is provides a beautiful venue for the Sydney or the New Year's Eve fireworks.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I think that makes that maybe sells it well.
But when you think, if anyone thinks of Australia, the first thing they would think of is probably the Sydney Opera House, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, or maybe kangaroos and Uluru. But like, it's up there as like the first things you think about, just how iconic it is.
yeah, get in one shot, dude. That's Sydney in a nutshell.
But don't you agree with the Harbour Bridge being a little bit overrated?
Nah,
You think it's a
I
beautiful
think
structure?
it's well rated
I think it's perfectly rated.
in this segment of overrated and underrated.
How could a bridge be overrated? Explain to me that.
Well, yeah, like you said, Sydney. If you think Sydney,
Well, you rate
think
the
Harbour
Anzac Bridge over the Harbour Bridge.
Yeah, I actually do. I really
That's
like
Because
the
it's
Anzac
fucking
Bridge.
free, you cheapskate.
No, I just think it's just a more aesthetic bridge, don't you think? When you're driving through and you see the pillars or whatever the vines, I'm gonna call them. I think it's beautiful.
No, dude, it's not. It's an eyesore compared to the Harbour Bridge.
Eyesore?
It is.
All right,
dude.
just quickly, compared to what? The bridge in San Fran, Golden Gate Bridge, compared to London Bridge. Are you just not a fan of bridges? Or
Yeah.
No,
Are you
so-
just anti-bridge?
I rated the Anzac Bridge. I'm gonna rate the Golden Gate Bridge over the Harbour Bridge.
I would probably agree with that, to be honest.
What was the other bridge you said?
London Bridge, Tower
Nah,
Bridge.
nah.
that's
suck that one
that's
off.
yeah,
It's falling
shit.
down.
But
Right.
like for example, you go to Portugal. In Porto, there's heaps of bridges. They're delightful as well.
But it's just, I think it's your point, like you said. It's you got to take it collectively, the harbour, not just the bridge itself. It's everything with it. Luna Park, Kirribilli on that side. It's a collective, and I think it is up there.
Fair play. Next one we have. If you're a landlord, especially with a house.
It's great. Yeah. Look, I don't have a house. I'm not a landlord, but for people around who do own houses, it seems like a delightful little thing that you can do. Whenever you're feeling a bit down, just raise the rent on some tenants.
Yeah.
Line the pockets a bit more.
I reckon if I owned a house, I'd be walking with a bit more of a pep in my step in the mornings. I'll tell you that. Being on this side of the fence where you're not a house owner versus being on the other side, far out. It's very depressing on this side.
Imagine you can just buy something, an asset,
Yeah.
and 10 years later, it like
Triple-
10x.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
And it's like different to your other investments, like with your stocks. I can't touch my stocks. Like with my house, I can hit
Touch
the
the
bricks.
walls, mate.
It exists. It's there, brick and mortar. It's tangible. Ro, you recently lived out a house, and did you have any battles with your landlord?
The thing is, my landlord was actually quite nice.
Okay.
Like, a dishwasher wasn't working. She fixed it right away.
Okay.
But the horror stories of other people having to like battle their landlords for like getting their light bulbs changed
yeah,
is just a
right.
common struggle. And like, dude, I swear to God, real estate agents and landlords, these guys are, Batman and Robin in terms of how evil they are. They're just working side by side to screw the tenants constantly.
Yeah. Have you seen the Auntie Donna sketch where they're like pretend to be real estate agents?
Yeah.
And then every single sentence ends with "I'm a." Yeah, I think it's such a meme, but it's also very true. Like that real estate agents are the scummiest people on the earth. Like what? They say real estate agent, used car salesman, and I don't know, insert a third scummy
Snake
industry to
oil
work.
merchant.
Yeah.
No, but landlords, like, this is the thing. Housing is a
human
fundamental
right.
human right.
Yes.
And these guys are just turning them out as like profit machines, essentially. How can I increase the price so much that I get the right tenant in, bleed them for all they're worth, just so I can live in luxury?
How many houses do you think someone should own, Ro? As the communist that you are.
Look, it should be accessible to everyone. Everyone should have minimum one house.
So there's a minimum. Is there a maximum?
No, there's no maximum. If everyone has a house, then look, obviously this can't work like economically,
Yes.
but everyone should have one house.
Do you think we can afford a house in Sydney right now?
No.
What happens to the people that say, oh, why do you guys want to live in Sydney? Go buy, out in Penrith or go buy in Brisbane, blah, 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 blah.
Why didn't they buy in Brisbane and Penrith? Do you know what I mean? No, because no one wants to live there respectfully.
Yeah, well, I think one of my biggest regrets was in 2008 that I didn't buy a house. Instead of buying, Tarzos and stuff like that, I should have just bought a house is really what I should have been doing.
Because the argument is like, oh, guys, just go live out like rural.
Yeah.
But it's like,
No,
why? Like, you didn't have to do that.
I was born here. I'm going to try and stay here if I can. But like back in the day, like in the 70s, you could buy a house on like $20,000 a year or $30,000
To like
a year.
work in 2-3 years, save a little, bang, that's a house.
On like a single income as well. Now you need double income, no kids, and you both need to be C-suite level executives earning like $500,000 each. To
If
fucking
we
own a house.
combined our wealth right now, are we affording a house? Us
Yeah,
three.
as a conglomerate, us three.
No, well, that's what timeshares are, really.
Yeah, so I'll get the house from Jan to April. You can get it from May onwards, and then
I'll get a tail end of the year. Sounds good.
That's not a bad idea, to be honest. Is it a bad idea?
They always say never buy houses with your mates.
I've never heard.
Who said that?
Sorry, let me start that again. I've never heard anyone buying houses with their mates. It's
so
saying to be. I've definitely heard don't go into business with your mates. Lol. But I've never heard don't buy houses with your mates.
It's a common adage. It's a very uncommon thing, but don't buy houses with your mates. Words of wisdom.
And everyone I know that's been buying a house or recently has been getting help from BOMAD, the bank of mum and dad. Is it possible to buy a house without BOMAD? You obviously you go to CBA first, but then you also need a bit of help from the bank of mum and dad.
I think it's possible to buy a house without mum and dad, but you
Sydney.
need to live at home. So
Yes.
like that by itself counts. Like maybe you're not getting a loan from your parents,
But
you've just lived rent free, literally rent free
in the actual sense of the word, rent free.
for like the last like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Only way.
Anyway, we'll see if we can ever buy a house here.
Moving swiftly on. Next one. Best tap water in the world.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Oh, mate, dude, I'm drinking water from like a park, like a tap in the park, and I'm swallowing it deluxe. It's delightful.
That's
But-
actually so true though. Like I would be at a park and I would never even think twice about drinking from a bubbler there.
And it tastes good.
Mm.
It tastes so good. I'm going to Melbourne. I'm going to like
Where did we go? Was it Brisbane?
Brisbane. The tap water is garbage.
Dude, it was straight from that river that they have, like the brown snake. It was disgusting water. And even Melbourne, when we went recently, that water that we had in that Airbnb was also a bit alkaline tasting, a bit battery tasting.
I don't know what it is, but like, I don't know if it's just because I'm used to it. But if you go like, for example, rural, if you go country towns and stuff like that, the water just tastes so bad. You have to drink boiled water or you have to buy actual bottled water.
Yeah. It's that beautiful Warragamba Dam water.
Well, whatever they treat it with, the fluoride and the chlorine, whatever the mix they've got going on, spectacular.
Yeah, poisoning our water supply.
No, it is what it is, as long as it tastes that good.
Yeah, I've never drank water overseas and I never would.
I have in Switzerland though. And I was-
actually, yeah, fair enough. That is
and
the
I
one
was
place.
drinking it out of just any open water source, brother. And it was like drinking Evian.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I would say if there's anywhere else in the world I would drink it, it probably
No,
would
it'd
be.
be
It's
like
because Switzerland
Nordic
is
countries.
cold as well. So it was like ice cold water, just straight from any open body of
It's
water.
like Voss water for free.
Exactly. I was filling up my bottle with legit any water I saw, filled up the bottle.
Yeah, is this what we love about Sydney versus the world, or what we love about Sydney versus Australia? Because obviously it's not the best. Well, is it
Could
the
be.
best? Oh, no. Like if you go to Norway and stuff like that, the Svalbardi water, that's spectacular.
What does that even mean?
That's the brand. That's like the most expensive water.
Oh, right.
But it's from the place in like Norway or something called Svalbard.
I think, well, in this case, we'll say it's the best in Australia.
No, that's without a question.
Yeah.
That's without a question.
Next one, no tipping culture. For now,
Oh.
I will say, for now,
It's slowly creeping in.
I don't like it, boys.
With my chest, when I go to a fine dining restaurant and they ask me, do you want a tip? I say, no, thank you.
Well, it can go both ways. One, they'll either, give you the machine, the FMOS machine, and it'll have the tip or no tip. And then you have to decide. It's a little choose your own adventure in front of the waitress. Other times I've had it where the waiter will automatically just select no tip and then just give you the FMOS machine.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Well, because I think like maybe the machine itself automatically does the tip. Like it has that option. And so these guys like know that they're part of their job is to just click no tip.
No tip, yeah.
But when you're at a fine dining restaurant, these guys kind of like expect a tip.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it, unfortunately.
No.
But I mean, I got to say, no tipping is great. The price, what you see is what you get.
Yeah. Oh, except they have like the weekend surcharge or the Sunday surcharge, public holiday surcharge, blah, blah, blah.
That's not tipping. That's another issue altogether.
That's, scamming.
So you see a menu, right? And it has at the bottom, gratuity fee of 5% is automatically added onto your receipt. Are you pushing back on that?
No.
No, absolutely not.
I know someone that does push back on that heavily.
Really?
What could they say?
Because it's not like you don't have to pay it. It's still technically, it's not mandatory.
It's like how my dad used to argue that I don't have to pay the school fees. It's optional.
That's a different trauma, brother. No, but it's technically optional. So when you get the receipt, you have to go out of your way to ask, hey, can I remove the gratuity fee at the end of the
It's
receipt?
not worth 5%.
Yeah, I don't think I have the cojones to do that.
But then-
That seems too embarrassing.
Fine dining restaurant, what's 5% then? That's a couple, 10, 20
Yeah,
dollars.
you know what? I would have to see the actual dollar amount to see if it's worth the battle. If the juice is worth the squeeze. If it's only for $10, I'm honestly probably just copying it.
Well, you got charged for some music fee, didn't you?
Yeah.
Hey?
Well, but you can't argue that one because I can't. Like, I did hear the music.
What music fee?
They had live band in the restaurant, and so we got charged like $25 for it. Like, that's a hard one to argue. Like, I didn't have earplugs. I can't unhear it.
You didn't
So
ask for it though.
Yeah, but it was on the booking. It said when we made the booking, it said on Sundays we have a live band and you will get charged for that. And I'm like, fuck.
They got
Should have
you to-
requested no live music, please.
Yeah, put us in the corner where I can't hear the music.
But I feel like people in America, they complain incessantly about the tipping culture because like when I was there, right, it was, let's say I ordered a burger for $15. That burger, $15 turned into $20, turned into like $23.50 because actually there's like the GST is not included in that either. And like, that's just a nightmare for your finances, brother. Your budgeting's going out the window. I got to tell you that.
Yeah, you got to have a buffer of like at least an extra $5-10 on every meal that you order.
Yeah. So like, let's see if we can keep the tipping away from
Is
Australia.
there any
please.
point where you would tip here in Australia for anything?
There's been one time I've tipped, and that was because the service was spectacular. And
Money bags 9 and over here.
no, the waiter was just really
Did he
funny.
suck you off as well?
No, he didn't give me any of that treatment, but he was just a really funny guy, like super nice dude.
Oh,
Gave
so
us,
we
like-
should all get jobs at Wheatus then.
If you want it, you
If
can.
That's it. He was just funny. So was he a jester? Was he a clown or something?
No, he just like had super like great information about all the stuff. Made the dining experience like fully worthwhile. I've never felt that way since, nor before, and that was so outstanding. I was like, I feel bad. Let me give him some money.
How much did you tip?
Just the classic 10%.
I've also tipped recently. It was fine dining, but that was more so to round up the bill to a nice round number.
Sorry?
So what was the bill and what did it round up to?
So the bill was like $290. I ran up to $300.
Nah, man, I'm taking the $290 and I'm running, bro. I'm
Why?
not forking over an extra $10.
Yeah, I felt it was a good service. I felt I had to tip, but I didn't want to do any. 10% would have been a bit gnarly.
Yeah, that would have been a bit aggressive.
So,
Nah,
like-
man, I'm keeping my $10.
But think if $10 of $290, that's like someone do the maths. That's, I don't know, 5% or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that too low? Is at that point should I not tip?
That's a slap
If
in
it's
the
that
face.
low, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know
What's the etiquette?
I don't know what the etiquette is of
I think
tipping.
etiquette's fine because I think they just split the tips around at the end.
Okay.
So they just like collate everything.
I thought
Oh, that turns me off it then.
What do you mean?
What if my waiter's a gun waiter and then I see a stinker over there? I don't want him to get his grubby hands on my.
That's not your problem, brother. Let them split how they want.
I thought the owner just takes all the tips, like Amy's Baking Company.
Yeah.
Nino.
They're all out of business. You know that?
Yeah, I saw.
That's gnarly.
well, there's like people like tip only with cash because they're scared of that.
Well, you put it in your hand and then you shake their hand and then you just slip them the.
The $5 or
those
the
ones?
tenner. Yeah, they're one of those ones.
I'm pretty sure
'Cause-
that's illegal to do.
What do you mean it's illegal to do? I can't pay in cash.
Yes, you can't just slip your waiter a 50,
all
bro.
right, Bob Catter, relax.
These crocodiles. You're saying I can't pay in cash then?
I'm pretty sure you can't. Like, especially at these like fine dining restaurants, you can't just slip your waiter like a.
Oh, well, what's illegal about that?
Dude, I think you can absolutely.
What, you put in their breast pocket and here you go, toots. That's for yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. But get rid of tipping. Thank goodness Australia doesn't have it.
Yeah. Next one. The beaches, nature, and hikes are pretty good.
I have to agree, like wholeheartedly.
This has to be like the number one, like perk of Sydney, right?
I think so. You got hikes, like Royal National Park hikes are beautiful. We got the best beaches in the world. I'll stand by that statement. I've been to a lot of beaches around the world, but Sydney 100% hands down has the number one.
Best, and there's so many as well.
Exactly.
Not just Bondi, not just Manly. There's a plethora you can go to. Hikes as well. You can go on a little nature walk, little hike at basically every corner of the suburbs.
And there's like that thing, it's like, oh, like all these animals around, they get to get you. If you go on a hike in Australia, like you'll get bitten and die. But that's like not fundamentally true.
I think it's just a funny thing we tell tourists to just try and fuck with them.
Like you can walk, it's so safe. Like, yeah, there's snakes around, but they're not going to bother you.
No, unless you go and bother them first.
Yeah. And
But
so
you gotta
like,
stay away from the drop bears though.
oh, 100%.
That's classic. I saw TripAdvisor, I don't know if you guys saw this, put out the top 20 beaches in the world. And one Sydney beach was on the list, Manly.
Yeah, I saw.
But then the other ones on that list were like, there was a beach in Iceland, a beach in like Norway. I'm like, what the fuck is this list?
Was there any reason why? Did you read the?
Well, all the comments were saying, oh, it's just clickbait to try and, create some outrage, some comments, blah, blah, blah.
Who would
blah,
do
blah.
that?
Yeah, who would do that? Fair enough. But that it goes to your point that Sydney does have Australia's best beach. But I heard that Perth and like Western Australia have some pretty nice beaches as well. I have not been.
Yeah, but you have to go to Perth.
Yeah, it's true.
That's actually a good point. To be honest, like there's like beaches in Esperance and stuff, like out west where you drive up and apparently they're pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, can you get them an hour from the CBD? Like, you know what I mean? Like 20 minutes from the CBD?
Yeah, because these ones are like low-key in the middle of nowhere. Not in the middle of nowhere, but they're like not in Perth
No, they're not in
itself.
Perth. They're far away.
Yeah.
So, location-wise and the number of them, I got to say, Sydney's got to take that, surely.
Bondi is obviously the most overrated beach in the world. So
No.
it's funny how that works.
I don't think it is, though.
It's pretty overrated.
There's literally nothing overrated about Bondi. It's just a great beach.
It's not overrated as a tourist attraction in terms of you're coming to Sydney. You should go to Bondi.
Yeah.
But as a local, you're not picking Bondi as the beach to go to every single time.
Exactly.
Dude, what are you talking about? Of course you are. If you're
Because
area,
it's so busy.
Yeah, it's so
So
packed.
if your main goal is to go for a swim with the boys or go for a swim with the family or whatever, you shouldn't go to Bondi every single time.
Not all the time, but people literally live in Bondi because they're next to Bondi Beach. Like, people pay
Do we
so
live in
much.
Bondi? That's the difference.
Exactly. So for us, it has to be a day trip. So you want to pick something a bit more quieter.
Okay, if you're
And also,
obviously
if
not
you're
in the
living
area.
in Bondi, you just go in the morning when it's quiet.
But to be honest, any of those beaches around Bondi, Kush,
Yeah,
Bronte,
yeah.
like pick your choice, bro. Any of them are great.
Alrighty, next one. Got the unbeatable texture acai bowls at every corner of Sydney.
Mano, this is a you special.
Yeah, this
mate.
is all you, mate.
Mate, this is absolutely true, man. I'm on acai bowl TikTok. And not only do I have Thirsty Monkey, so shout out you, Jacob, for the unbeatable texture, but I'm seeing so many different types of acai bowls in so many different locations. West, east, north, south of Sydney, different places, and all look lovely. I need to try like 99% of them. Look lovely.
How many different variations of a side?
But that's not the point. The point is you don't need to go somewhere to now get it.
Gotcha.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
I can go 5 minutes from here and get a lovely two. There's two in that shopping center.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Every corner.
It's blown up very quickly. That and frozen yogurt is now everywhere. I haven't tried is the Thirsty Monkey? Is that the
Thirsty
one?
Monkey.
I haven't tried it. Have you?
Yeah, the texture
Is it?
is unbeatable.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Is it like more like ice cream, like
It doesn't-
texture, or?
So it's like the ones we normally have, the soft serve ones, but it doesn't melt as quick, I think. So the texture still holds.
Okay. All right.
It's a bit thicker type vibe.
I have gotten into the acai hype based on Manu because he has it like 3 times a week. So I've decided, okay, I'm going to try it. And I got to say, on a hot summer's afternoon, you can't go wrong with an acai bowl. It's a refreshing, delightful little snack.
Lovely. Next one we have is weather.
Just that's it.
Weather.
Yeah. I mean, I can get around that. I will say this summer has been unbelievably humid though.
Yeah, the humidity is not great.
It reminds me of like Southeast Asia, like a Singapore. Like it normally isn't this humid. Like it's definitely hot, but it's not this humid. It's more of a dry heat. But for some reason, maybe global warming. Do we believe in that on this podcast? I don't know.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Okay, yeah, we do. So I'm going to
we
blame
will-
that for this unbelievable humidity. Even today, dare I suggest, it's pretty humid in here.
Yeah, very
I'm
humid.
sweating under this blazer.
But let's compare it to Melbourne, right? Where you get 4 seasons in one day.
Don't give me that bullshit.
Am I, do I wear a jacket? Do I need to bring an umbrella? The answer is yes to all these things.
But who wants that? Who wants unpredictability? That's the last thing you want
That's
in
what
weather.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
compare
yeah.
it to these places like Perth, that is sweltering hot.
Yes.
Adelaide, I actually don't really understand the weather in Adelaide.
I refuse to acknowledge Adelaide as a city, to be completely fair.
Just to quickly aside, my favorite thing about the Melbourne weather is when we went recently, right? And Ro, your brother was packing, and he was going to pack like what? We were going for like a couple days, and he was going to pack like 4 or 5 jackets.
4 or 5 jackets.
And you told him strictly off, you don't need jackets, etc., etc. We get there, bro. It's like fucking 12 degrees.
Yeah.
I remember that night we
He was
landed.
vindicated as soon as he landed,
The night we landed, it was like 8 degrees or something. It was freezing.
and we all brought one jacket.
Yeah, I had one hoodie and only had shorts, nothing
And this
else.
was
middle
January.
of summer, brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
January.
Crazy weather. But then, yeah, like even during the day, though, it fluctuated between like 30 degrees. And then as it got to night, it got freezing. At least with Sydney, I will say I have a gripe with Apple weather. I was going to the city the other day, like for work, and then I looked out the window, it said cloudy. I'm like, okay, it could rain. But I checked the weather app and said no chance of rain. I got about 37 seconds up the road and was about to get on the bus. Starts pouring down. And I'm like, it's like happened to me a couple of times with Apple weather. And I think I'm a bomb man only now.
Hey?
Is what I've realized. Normally the winters are also not bad, but recently, the last few winters have been getting more and more brutal, I feel, here in Sydney.
I actually think they've gotten better, to be honest. Like winter is good. I remember when I was a kid seeing frost on the ground.
That is true. I haven't seen much frost recently.
0 frost these days. Like winter, I'm dare I suggest maybe getting to my favorite season because it's like it's not unbearable, and it's actually quite nice to just wear a jacket and feel comfy.
Ah, man, I feel like it's getting way too cold in the last few years.
Nah, climate change has made summer too hot
It
and
has.
winter maybe just right.
No, I think it's too cold still. Well, all right, Goldilocks. All right, next one.
Alrighty, next one. Unbeatable brunch culture.
Is that actually what someone said? Is
Someone said
it the same person who sent in the Asahi one?
Maybe we'll never know. Unbeatable brunch culture. I will say Sydney's brunch culture is very good. Outstanding.
Is it better than Melbourne?
Is it unbeatable though? Exactly. Is that the question?
Didn't Spanion do a Sydney versus Melbourne brunch spots? And I'm pretty sure he said Melbourne comes out on top.
Yeah, but Spain's done a lot of things, so
Melbourne's a bit pretentious though, don't you think?
And Sydney isn't?
I don't know. With brunch, I feel like I go down to a local cafe, I can get a great meal. No worries. I think Melbourne brunch, maybe because we go to like the expensive places, it feels like
Yeah.
overpriced.
yeah, we're not. If we travel to Melbourne, you're not going to settle for an around the corner cafe that'll do the job. You want to go to the ones you've seen on Instagram or the ones that are highly recommended, et cetera, et cetera.
I used to be a big breakfast man.
Mm.
Now I'm just a simple bacon and egg roll. That's all I need. Bit of barbecue sauce, don't need anything else.
That's how I judge a brunch spot.
Yeah.
Just beanie roll. How good can you do the simple things in life?
It's hard to fuck it up.
It really is.
Like
yeah.
it genuinely, there's 2 ingredients.
Yeah. If we're talking brunch in general though, like I honestly don't see the difference between Sydney and Melbourne. Like to me, they're very similar. I can't pick between the two.
Yeah, but the law is that Melbourne is
law.
better.
I think Melbourne has, and to your point as well, it has the more like fancier brunch places where they're a bit more experimental, a bit more ethnic. There's a lot of like
Asian fusion.
Thank you. And I feel like maybe in Sydney, maybe we don't go to them, but maybe I feel like there's less of that here.
Well, in Sydney, when you go, like for example, let's chuck a cafe out.
Grounds of Alexandria.
All right, Grounds. Oh, I think that's a decent cafe. Got
Yeah.
great food, like does the simple stuff well.
Tad overrated, maybe?
I don't know.
Ground specifically, probably.
Yes.
But there's hundreds of them out there.
Yeah. And I feel like they do the simple stuff well and they don't try and go too fancy with what they do.
But maybe I'm into the fusion stuff. Like I do like a bit of fusion, but sometimes it's too much, man. Like
You don't want a miso shakshuka or something like that?
yeah, exactly. like a Japanese pasta. Like I don't know, man. I don't know if I want this.
Who was it you, Ro, telling me recently about there's a Korean Mexican place?
Yeah, we went there in Melbourne.
No, it's here in Sydney. Apparently, like
Oh, yeah,
in,
I was saying that,
in
yeah.
North Sydney, and someone was telling me it was actually phenomenal.
Really?
Korean Mexican.
It's not the one I went to. I
Okay.
went to one in the city. There's another Korean Mexican in the city.
How many Korean Mexican places are there?
Like I really like the idea of fusion. Great idea.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a line to be drawn. Do you know what I
No.
mean? Do I want, I don't know, salsa fried chicken?
No.
Not really.
Sometimes, yeah, less fusion is better, dare I suggest, like society itself.
Right, next one. We got a lot of these, so we're combining a couple. Multiculturalism / almost any ethnic food you can have.
Where do we stand on assimilation? Just as a concept.
Okay, let's.
I want to hear what you have to say first, Ro.
No, because like I remember in primary school we would talk about multiculturalism, like and it was really drilled into my head to like assimilate into Australian culture. Was anyone else getting this propaganda?
No, dude, I learned about multiculturalism, Harmony Day, all cultures just get along together. There's no need, we're all unique. We all have our own things that we bring to society. Did you grow up in the White Australia policy or something? I don't remember this part of me growing up.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts. Of
So what are you saying? Assimilation is not on.
No, because he's saying assimilate to Australian culture. So forget about
I'm not saying any of this. I'm just explaining what I have been taught.
what you've been, indoctrinated with.
Mm.
No, because assimilation just says, leave your culture at the door when you come to this country and fall in line with the Australian culture.
Exactly. But that's not on, right?
And so it's create one homogenous, society.
But Australian culture in and of itself is multicultural.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because what is Australian culture? Isn't Australian culture celebrating everyone else's culture, dare I suggest?
I would say that is the key tenet, dare I suggest.
So what are we saying about multiculturalism then?
Well, multiculturalism obviously is a great thing. Like, I love the fact that you can go to different areas
So
of
now
Sydney.
you're pro-globalization.
It wasn't so obvious when you started this.
Wait, no, what did I say at the beginning? I just said, what are your thoughts on assimilation? Because this is what I've
It
heard,
was a very leading question.
not what I believe.
Okay.
But no, don't throw me under the bus.
This is just your words.
You've thrown yourself in
Yeah.
so many holes in this podcast, brother.
No, when we were discussing this before, at no point did any of us say, let's talk about assimilation. That would be funny.
Let me see this in another direction, right? I have a mate that came, he's on exchange to Sydney for a couple of months. And one of the first things I said to him, he asked me what's good about Sydney, right? One of the first things I said is, like, you can get a lot of great cultural foods in different suburbs. Like, you can find pockets in different suburbs.
Yeah.
And you'll basically be in that culture. It's not like you're in the city and there's a Japanese restaurant there, a Korean restaurant there. Like, there are actual places in Sydney suburbs where you get the whole shebang.
There's a bit of that as well. In the city itself, you'll be able to find really good, like, Chinese, Japanese, blah, blah, blah. But then, to your point, there are parts of the actual, like, suburbs dedicated to whole ethnicities. You got Little India, Harris Park, you got Little Koreatown. Is that what it's called? Is that what Eastwood's
I think
called these
just
days?
Koreatown.
China.
Cabra.
Anywhere in Sydney really is Little China.
My street is...
Cabramatta, you got the Vietnamese. So, there's heaps of, like, little mini societies across Australia.
Is that assimilation, right? Back to your point.
Is that multiculturalism?
That's multiculturalism, yeah.
Because we're all living, all these cultures are living within one area, Sydney.
Actually, no, but then that's not multiculturalism.
It seems a bit segregated, no?
It does, yeah. It is a bit, Hunger Games, District 9 versus District 10. But that's the thing. I get it, though. Like, if you are an immigrant to a country and you have come recently, obviously you want to stick to people who, look like you and are similar to values and similar with food and all that.
And we're not saying you can't cross over. You can't visit others.
No, but
Yeah,
I'm
of course
glad.
not. But people stick to the same ethnic groups.
But it's good that the
realistically.
government has gone out of the way to actually, like, promote these areas. Like Eastwood, for example, being officially rebranded as Koreatown, and Harris Park, when Modi came, was officially called Little India now. So if you look
Is
up
it not
Little
a
India,
little bit on the nose to
What?
you? Like Koreatown, Little India?
well, I mean, we all were thinking it. Now it's at least okay to say.
Now it's said.
Yeah.
I guess it's good because, if you ask where do you want to go, you're chucking out Koreatown as an option.
And at least now, like, for example, with Manu's mate who recently came overseas, if he does fiend Indian food one day, if he just looked up, Little India, Sydney, it'll take him straight to Harris Park.
Look, every city's already had Chinatown.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're just expanding on an established system.
Yeah, and in Singapore, they have an area called Little India as well. So it's not unique just to Australia.
Okay.
So yes, we're all for multiculturalism. And I think it's pretty cool that you can get all kinds of it. And not even just like your usual ethnic foods. You can also get like African food as well, Arab food,
All sorts.
all sorts.
And the ethnic food we have here is actual quality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's cooked by actual ethnics. Do you know what I mean? Like you're getting Chinese food from someone from China. It's beautiful.
All the Japanese restaurants are run by Koreans.
Really?
That-
Ro
Absolute
can't
slide
tell the
dogs.
difference.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you know this?
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That's most like
I
sushi
reckon-
trains, especially.
80 or 90% of the Japanese restaurants here in Sydney are run by Koreans or even Chinese people.
This is new information to me.
Yeah.
It's a known fact. Anyways, let's compare. Our Chinese obviously cook A lot of Chinese immigrants cook by the English Chinese. Let's talk about that for a second. That's an abomination on Chinese food. It's disgusting, dude. All they have is salt and pepper, everything, brother.
And then they have chips and gravy, like curry sauce. Sorry, chips and curry sauce is apparently Chinese food over there.
In England.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But so yeah, the quality of ethnic food here, unreal as well.
Yeah.
Right, next one, a bit of a specific one. Drinks at Ryan's wearing RM Williams. So this is a thing in and of itself in Sydney culture.
We had a couple of people write this one in. And the more people wrote it in, the more I realized maybe these people were being serious.
Yeah, I thought it was ironic at first.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like it now.
It's a certain subculture of the finance bro here in Sydney that on a Friday afternoon or even a Thursday afternoon after work, you'll find them all congregated. It sounds like a David Attenborough documentary at this point, but you'll find them in herds of like 10 to 20 of them all wearing RM Williams. And in winter, you'll find them with the Patagonia vests.
I went to Ryan's bar recently with my workmates and we played a little game, Count the RMs.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it was like counting the stars in the sky.
Did you fall asleep?
Numerous, yeah.
It's part of the dress code there. Like, it's like the opposite of Cardiff. If you're not wearing RMs, you're not going to get let into Ryan's. It's actually a disgusting venue. I can't stress this enough. And it's not fun. I'm sorry, but it's like, yes, it's outdoor, but they pack them in. Like, so you're still like sardines, essentially, even though you have so much space. They still try and pump in as many people as they can in there.
It's because you're not a white finance bro, brother. That's why it's not fun. I reckon if you're in that
And the
that
ratio
culture?
is horrific as well. It's like 80% dudes and then 20%
yeah,
girls.
represents the finance industry.
That's true. And they're all like Jaden and Braden and Caden and whatever. They're all got the same name. They all got the same look.
Probably the same chat as well.
Same dad as well.
Yeah. There's no redeeming features about Ryan's bar. I'm sorry.
But we're turning Sydney pet peeves into actual pet peeves.
Sorry. Well, someone asked me about bloody Ryan's bar and you got me started.
Yeah, someone said that's why they love it. So, we're here to debate that. Alrighty, second last one we have. Debit cards for public transport.
Oh, this is absolutely massive. This is maybe one of my favorite things about Sydney because it means that you don't have to have like a dedicated. I don't bring a wallet around. So I can't be carrying an Opal card, an Oyster card, a Mikey card willy-nilly. You know what I mean? I have my phone. I have Apple Pay. I tap the gates. I go through. I'm on the train.
When's the last time you used an Opal card?
I literally, maybe when it first came out.
I found mine recently at home and I saw it had $10 on it. So I had to use it just to, not let it go to waste. But
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It would be years since you've used it?
Yes, ever since the debit, like Apple Pay came out, that's when I started
No, it
using
would have been
frequently.
when we lost access to the student Opal card, like the concession.
That would have been the last time I used an Opal card.
Because then after that, you're paying full price anyway, so who cares?
There was some rumor like if you use the Opal card though, and you do like 10 trips, you get like the 11th for free.
That used to be a thing back in 2018.
And then they've nerfed it apparently.
Yeah.
They patched it.
Because there used to be people who call Opal runners, and they would you would pay this guy, and literally his entire job would be he would collect maybe 5 or 6, and he would just go tap them on different trips during the day. So he would do your 10 trips in one day, because then you got the rest of the week for free.
And he would do like the cheapest trips possible.
Correct. Because it was essentially if you did 10 or 15 trips Monday to Friday, and then the rest of the working week was free for you. So people would try and smash it out Monday or Tuesday, and then the rest of the week was free. So that's why they had to nerf it.
Well, one thing related to this, right, is one thing I like about Sydney public transport and paying with the Opal card or paying with your debit card, I should say, is that you pay for what you ride. So if you go one stop, you pay for that.
Yeah.
Whereas Melbourne, you go one stop, you're paying $5. Everything is $5.
Yeah, because you're paying for the whole line.
Correct.
Can you pay with the debit card in Melbourne?
You can pay with Google Pay, but not Apple Pay.
What?
What, do they have some sort of exclusive rights with Google?
I have no idea, but like when I asked my cousins who live in Melbourne, I was there, I'm like, can I use my debit card? It's like, oh, only if you have Google Pay, you can do that. Otherwise, no bingo.
When I went to London last year, they recently did bring in you can pay with Apple Pay now. But they only brought that in like a year or two ago.
Hey,
Versus Sydney, we've had that for 5 or 6 years.
And it's just convenient. I don't know, like it's so good. And like, imagine being a tourist coming
Yeah, that's
to
what I was going to say.
Australia.
Tourist is the biggest positive.
Like just go to any station, don't buy anything else, just go in with your card and you're going to get on any public
Yeah,
transport.
because you can use your own bank card as well, like from overseas. You don't have to get an Australian one.
Oh, it's a spectacular feature of the system.
My favorite thing, just quickly on that, back in the day when we were in high school, and for example, it was school holidays and we wanted to catch a bus, my favorite thing would be, because you had to pay with cash, and for example, from my house to Castle Towers, it used to be like $1.80, but I would only have like $50.
All right.
No, and then the bus driver couldn't be bothered giving me change. He's like, all right, just get on for free.
That's true. You missed that these days.
200 IQ play there.
Yeah, well, you just give them 100.
You just need $50 as a fucking 12-year-old kid or something.
Yeah, work harder, not smarter.
Alrighty, last one we have. Events and artists always come here. This is true, I think.
Wait, this seems like a bit of a sarcastic comment, though.
No.
I think it's
facts.
even if it's sarcastic, I think it's facts because like everyone flies down typically to Melbourne as well, but Melbourne or Sydney because all the big artists. Taylor Swift only went to Melbourne and Sydney, for example. So if you're in Adelaide, Brisbane, Canberra, God knows wherever you are, you have to come to Sydney.
Yeah, I get that as well. Like, to be fair, Sydney and usually they do Sydney and Melbourne. They're the most populated cities in Australia. And if you did one in Brisbane, like how many people are going to rock up? You know what I mean?
But also the number of shows, right? Like Taylor Swift had how many shows in Sydney? Four. And what, 3 in Melbourne?
Correct.
So like basically you have a much higher chance of getting a ticket to any of these big artists in Sydney because they play more shows. They always come here. Like Fred again, right?
Yeah.
Recently I was trying to get tickets for him.
Yeah.
Gold Coast, he was playing one show.
Yeah.
No one got tickets.
Yeah.
And all the people who missed out on Gold Coast tickets
Trying to get
Sydney and Melbourne tickets.
Yeah.
So
and also,
big facts.
we have bigger venues here versus like the other cities in Australia. Or maybe not the MCG.
Yeah, but Kudos Bank, yeah. Olympic Park Stadium is pretty big.
Pretty big.
It holds a lot of people. Like that's huge. Like any artist who's coming to Australia, if they do, they're 100% playing a show in Sydney.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we take that for granted. We're not like, oh, are they going to come to my city or not? We're like, they're coming to Australia? Well, I guess I'll see him. I'll have the option.
And we never have that. Oh, actually, no, Coldplay kind of did it when they came last year. They only did Perth, the bastards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, they're coming again this year and they're doing all the
That
cities.
was weird.
But last year they did only one show and it was just Perth. So that was the first time we've ever had that. Fuck, like, do I fly out to Perth? I have to fight tooth and nail to even get a ticket for Perth?
Yeah, imagine you're Perth or Adelaide.
Yeah,
like there's literally no danger that these guys are coming to your city. Like no musical act is coming.
I'm pretty sure Perth, like people in Perth, especially if they don't come to Sydney, their best bet is going to like Singapore or like Southeast Asia to try and watch a show, which is gnarly.
But I'm a bit confused by that because like if people are coming from all the way over to Australia, surely you may as well just play the country, right?
It might not just be profitable.
It's not profitable enough. Why spend extra time in Perth and Adelaide when you can go straight to Hong Kong, Singapore?
Correct.
Another night in Sydney where you can get guaranteed 90K or something.
Or you do that. You just do a lot of shows in Sydney and Melbourne and just, that if your fans are dedicated, they will fly to Sydney and Melbourne.
Do the poor bastards in New Zealand get any artists? Like they must just get no one.
I don't think Taylor Swift went there, did she?
All right, those were some of the ones that sent in. Apologies to everyone else that sent them in, but we couldn't get to it. There was way too many. But again, Instagram, @CriticalBand to follow us. You can get involved next time we put a poll up. Alrighty, what an episode we have. Thank you to everyone who sent in your best parts about Sydney. Rumor has it we will be needing you very soon again on the Instagram. So @CriticalBand, make sure to follow us. You can find all the bite-sized clips, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Rumor again has it there's another platform coming out, so just be wary of that one. But full episodes, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, what have you. And with that, we'll see you next week.